Oh, hello everyone. My name is Marco, and this is my first video. And I would love to share and send a message for everyone who is willing and open to receive God and the relationship between God and man in a mostly deep level. Uh, and I would love to talk about what happened to me going back, I guess like 30 now years ago. My very first strong experience, and I had signs before of the presence of God, was when I was working in London. I moved from Italy to London to basically get a little more experience with and a grasp on the language. I wanted to be an actor, so I figured I'd go to London for a couple of years before I go to America, and my goal was always to come to America for the long haul. But as a first step, I decided to go to London. And I used to work really, really hard. And my goal was to make as much money as possible and quick to just move to New York or LA and go to acting school. Anyway, to make a long story short, I was holding two jobs, getting up at 6 a.m. In the morning, doing one job until like 2 o'clock, and then go to another place and do another job until 11 o'clock at night. So really working hard, very, very tiring. I did that for months. What happened? One evening, I get arrested in a bar in London, and I was inside this bar chilling with a buddy of mine, and I see the bartender pointing to me, and four or five, I don't remember exactly how many they were, just big guys, cops, coming over to me, and the bartender pointing to me, this guy. They started talking to me. I had no clue what they wanted. I didn't speak the language much. They asked me if that was the jacket. I said yes. I got the jacket. They handcuffed me, and they took me out of the bar. Everybody was looking, and it was kind of embarrassing in a way, but not something I couldn't handle. They started asking me questions. I had no clue. So they get me to the police station, and we had to call an interpreter. That's how bad it was. So we called the interpreter. It turns out there was a burglary. Burglary happened in the apartment above this particular establishment. And the lady apparently recognized me as one of the or the person that broke into the room, the bedroom, and stole a wallet or whatever that was, some jewelry. So it was a little bit of a big deal in the end because the lady was pregnant. And so I had to get a lawyer, which I did. And I had to start this new phase of my life. To shorten it, we go to the first hearing at the lower court in London, and I ended up to be guilty. I cannot even tell you how tragic that is for a person that did not commit the crime to be falsely condemned and was a clear mistaken identity, which happens all the time. I didn't cry about it. I didn't cry on myself, saying to myself, why me? In the end, why not me? It happens all the time. So now I had to solve the problem. So went back and forth with my lawyer. Now we had to go to the Crown Court. I was pretty positive, actually, pretty confident, and the reason being, I did not do it. I hadn't committed any crime. I was a hardworking man, young man at that time, with big, ambitious goals in life to become an actor in the United States. So basically, what happened was I confidently I go to the hearing, to the Crown Court, a few months, 2 or 3 months after the first hearing, and again they find me guilty. So I have this trial now, and I have to solve it somehow. I clearly remember going home that night. I was distraught. I was in disbelief that I was involved in such a thing. That was a big hurdle to overcome. I started thinking why it happened to me in terms of I have to go to the United States. I want to become an actor. This is interfering with the goal. Just the why was because of that, not anything else. But I clearly remember, and now we get into the God part. This particular evening, I go home and I am in my room and I'm sitting in my armchair. And I don't know if I was crying or I was crying out to God, looking for help. And I can clearly tell you that I felt the living presence of God. In what way? In a way of a jolt. Like, it wasn't in the physical per se, like lifted me up from the armchair, but it was more of the inside, kind of something very strongly moving. And that made me feel like, okay, God is present. But the message was, I got you. Don't worry about it. And I started feeling better. I knew that God was present. That God somehow, He got me. Because of that jolt. So the funny thing is, I was friend with a lady that owned the building, an Italian lady who was married to this Italian gentleman. They owned the building. They apparently moved there like 30, 40 years prior to the 90s. So I was there in the early 90s. And because she liked me, she used to cook for me sometimes. And so I went up, I started talking to her. She could feel that something was off. So she asked me, said, what's going on? And I said, I went to the Crown Court today. I'm involved in this thing. I don't know anything about it. And they find me guilty. And I just don't know what to do. And she smiled. She smiled at me and she said, let me talk to her. It turns out that she worked as a personal chef for the former Prime Minister, Iron Lady called Margaret Thatcher. And, I thought, holy cow, this is a powerful connection. Only God can do this. I knew it. This was God taking care of me. I just couldn't explain it in any other way. Because she worked for her and she would talk to her about my case. That was kind of a big relief for me. And so we went ahead and I gave her my information. She reviewed the case. And in the end, I was reassured by this lady, her assistant, that everything was going to be okay, that she would have taken care of this situation. and that was such a big sign for me to understand the presence of God working in my life, the living God coming to the earth for me, showing me that I was going to be okay. So time went on. I think that after that was May. So we had the hearing in January, and I was so confident that I remember the hearing day being the 15th or the 16th of January. I had already bought the ticket for the 17th to go home and see my dad and fly to the United States. That's how confident. And I don't even want to share the fact that, yeah, there was frustrating times, fearful moments where there was uncertainty. I didn't know, is this thing gonna work out for my best advantage? Am I gonna be okay? Am I gonna be released? Is my name gonna be clean? I had no part of it, so I wanted my name to be clean. I prefer staying in London and taking care of this without just running away. I had the opportunity to have in this fight, in this battle, the Lord himself, and it was pretty clear to me. So there was no way that I would run away. No, I had to face it forward. I knew that God was going to be in battle before me, crushing my enemy, and that's about it. So we went to court, and after 30 minutes, I was luckily released because not enough evidence against me. It was victorious. It was a victorious moment, and a very big sign that God was present in my life in a very powerful way. I mean, who could think to have a help this big, like the Prime Minister or former Prime Minister of England? I am nobody. I don't even speak the language, and I have this type of connection. That's definitely God. There's no doubt in my mind. And that's when I slowly started to understanding and believing in a living presence. God had touched me in a powerful way. He came to my rescue. I was young at that time. I couldn't understand the things that I understand now. I wish I did. I would have been less rebellious even after that experience, because I had a rebel character and a spirit in me. And for other reasons, especially against God, for what happened to me when I was younger as a child. But God had decided to help me, so I had to embrace that for the moment and go with it. And this goes to show you a little bit of the presence, the story. I hope it can help you to understand that God is definitely present when we scream for him in a major way, depending on the situation. And if we are favored, God can definitely help. How many situations that we look for help and there's silence and nothing resolves? So I call upon the Lord and he answered in a powerful way. So I hope that this story can help you maybe believe more in God. I may get deeper later on into more details of the story, but this is the moral of the story, that God exists. He's with us. It's a strong presence. He is a living presence among us. All we have to do is to call out and open up, even if we have an angry heart towards him. If we let the light through, he will find a way. The heart is pure, but we get infected by a lot of stuff as we go on with life, with all the problematics, all the problems, all the difficulties and the stress and the relationships and the different scenarios. So our heart get clouded but the purity of the heart is always there. And God found the time and the space to come through, no matter how much of a rebellious character I was against him, and shine through, and he gave me hope to face the other steps of my life. So I started creating history with him, in a way. So now I look back and I look at that episode, and then there's another one, and then there's another one when he intervened, and I kind of feel, okay, what do I worry about? If I go to him, he will fight my battles. I don't have to worry about anything. And this is, I believe, the message for today. I hope that finds you well and gives you hope and strength in trying to open up to the living God and to the living presence of the Lord. I think that's the only thing that's required from us, to open up to him and let him in. I think he wants to take care of us throughout the journey. We are accountable to him and to him only. Nobody, nothing else, just him. He will take care of everything if we let him. He will accomplish the project, the goals that he has for our lives, no matter what, from A to Z. He will get it done for us. Wish you all the best. I love you all, and just leave some comments if I can be of help with a particular thing in your life. I'll be glad to definitely share more stories of the presence of God in my life, how rebellious I was, the type of demons and strongholds that I had against him. Share those too, and understanding the difficult relationship with the living God. It's not an easy one, but it's definitely doable. If I came through, anyone can. Ciao.